Last night's winning pitcher, Randy Wynne. Randy, another phenomenal performance. It started out a little bit shaky, a double and a single to start things off, but from there, what kind of clicked?
Yeah, I think part of it was getting a little angry out there when guys hit you around to start the game. It's obviously not a good thing. A little bit too, I was battling the mound. It was just a little muddy, and it was kind of hard to get a good footing. But once I was able to do that, I kind of everything clicked into place.
Yeah, and I noticed that the first couple of hitters, especially the first two, I know you like to work in the zone, really attack guys. They were aggressive against you. Does that kind of make you rethink your game plan, or you just normally stick with what works?
Well, with all my pitches, I like to think that I could beat a guy in the zone, especially early in the count when I need to, or I want the strikes to get ahead. But yeah, I mean, you don't really change your game plan at that point. You just kind of try to be better, and if that still doesn't work, then you might, kind of go back and look at it. But yeah, no, I just kept attacking, and eventually I just started making better pitches, I think.
Yeah, and every starter, I think, would say, every start's equally as important, but your last two times out, it comes against Normal, the team that's leading the division, and then against Southern Illinois, the team that was holding one of the wild card spots last night, and each time you went 6 innings, striking out 9, then last night going 8 innings, striking out 12. Do you kind of think going into a start, maybe I got to ratchet it up a little bit more, the start's got a little bit more added pressure?
Well, I'm always aware of how good the team is and what they've been doing this year, but you gotta kind of just take it at bat to at bat and guy to guy and just keep plugging away at them. But I made a little mechanical adjustment over those last couple of starts, and I think it'll be good for me coming through the end of the season.
Well, not to spoil it for opposing teams, but what was that mechanical adjustment, or what was it you were trying to work on?
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter if they know or not. So basically, at the end of my pitch, when I get to that landing point, I'm coming through, I try to stay as calm as possible, almost going through the motions. And then right at the last second, I just let everything into the baseball, whether it's a fastball, curveball, changeup, slider. And that little whip at the end, I think it makes it hard for hitters to pick up what's coming because everything looks the same. It all looks like I'm throwing it as hard as I can, which is basically what I am. So.
And one thing I was curious about how it was going to play out last night was that somehow, some way, despite you leading the team in innings pitched and tied for most games started, that was your first start against Southern Illinois. Now, when you kind of see that this late in the season, that's extremely weird. Is that a positive for you? That they've never seen you before, but also you've never gotten to face off against them.
Yeah, I think the advantage in that instance has to go to the pitcher. It's a lot harder to hit than the pitch, I think. But yeah, so as long as I kept it in the zone and kind of attacked them, they weren't ready for what I was throwing. They just hadn't seen it. Like other teams, I've thrown against Gateway 2 or 3 times, I think. So it's a little different coming into a game against them, against Southern, who hadn't seen me start yet. I think they'd only seen me 2 innings maybe all season out of the bullpen early. And so, yeah, I mean, obviously it's a lot more attacking the zone because I know that they haven't seen it yet, which gives me the advantage for sure.
Yeah, and I noticed going down the stretch at the end of the game, obviously you racked up the strikeouts, getting all the way up to 12, which tied a season high for you. You started mixing in a couple other different pitches. I noticed the changeup coming into form at the end of the start. Do you kind of, when you know that you haven't faced a team before, kind of save pitches towards the end so I can break this out when I really need a big strikeout?
Yeah, sure. I mean, honestly, we're trying to use as few of the pitches as possible for every game. We start off with fastballs. If we're getting outs with fastballs, we're not going to fix it if it's not broken, you know what I mean? So we won't even add in a second pitch until, we get some hard contact or, get some barrels in there. And then we'll start mixing in a second one, and as the game goes on, it's just good to be able to go back to 3-4 pitches total. By the end of the game, you're still able to surprise guys that way.
Well, Randy, great start last night, and I imagine we're going to be seeing a lot of you the rest of the way.
Yeah, sounds good, Sam. Thank you.